Yeah, I have read today's story, particularly about Musalia Mudavadi's assertions that the handshake was as a result of pressure being mounted on Raila Amolo Odinga. I want to say that my friend Musalia is being very economical with the truth, and more or less everything he has said is a factual misrepresentation. As far as I know, uh, the, there were pressures from all sorts of quarters, but Raila Amolo Odinga and the leadership, or particularly the ODM, never yielded to those pressures. And that is why we had the handshake. We had the swearing in on the 30th of January 2018. Subsequently, because we had planned a series of activities before the handshake and after the swearing in, Raila Amolo Odinga had his visa cancelled to the UK. My visa also was cancelled to the UK. None of the other leaders' visas were cancelled. I mean, if it meant anything, it meant that Raila Amolo Odinga was the one who was being consistent with the tasks we had, you know, laid down for the leadership to undertake. And the cancellation, as I've said, came after the swearing in. Now, later, much later after the handshake, yeah, after the swearing in, the visas was cancelled, and then much later, after the handshake, the visas were restored, and I have letters here to show. So, if there was anything about being put under pressure, about the handshake, then the visas should have been cancelled, before, after the handshake, or a lot before the swearing in. But if you look at the series of events that took place, the handshake was something voluntary on the part of Raila Amolo Odinga after a lot of thinking and a lot of consultations, but not as a result of any political pressure or diplomatic pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on the issues of the intrigues in NASA, it claims it became more of an ODM affair vis-a-vis the other party.
It cannot be an odium affair. It talks about resolutions which were made at Mazoni. We had many meetings, and at every stage there was consultation. At every stage there was consultations, and even after the handshake, there was consultations. And the media will report that after the handshake, we had a meeting, a day's meeting, which was attended by all the principals. And after that meeting, there was a communique where all the principals declared that they supported the handshake, but required of it to be more inclusive. And you can see that in the process, we have wanted to work shoulder to shoulder with our partners in the NASA coalition. In Parliament, we continue to be a coalition, both in the National Assembly and in the Senate. Our side of the House, both in the National Assembly and in the Senate, are a coalition. The leadership is a coalition of NASA. And you have seen that even thereafter, there have been meetings in which clearly even the appointment of the team, the BBI team, there were persons there who are appointed from within NASA as a coalition. So there's no truth about any side of the political divide being excluded, and most of those within NASA.
Alright.
But I want to repeat again that we did not wilt to any political or diplomatic pressure, either in terms of the swearing in or in terms of the handshake. Yeah.
That's it, right?
Yes.